that all students are going to receive the H1N1 immunization. And, just watch, they're trying to make this mandatory for everybody, not only for the students, but everybody in their communities will be assigned a school to go and get jabbed in the arm with this poison, with this decaying protein, with this putrefying substance called a vaccine. Isn't this something? You know, and you look, they say, pandemic, pandemic, pandemic. Everybody's going to die. You got to come and get a shot that'll fix you up. Remember that Tamiflu they came out with? You've heard of Tamiflu. You know, all that was designed to do was shorten the length of your flu from 12 days to 11. And it didn't even do that. People died from it. Became paraplegic from it. It's a known fact. You know, once they declare something a pandemic, nobody can ever sue the companies that made the vaccine. If our government says pandemic, that's it. If WHO says, and who is who anyway? The World Health Organization says it's a pandemic, you can't, and your child starts getting autistic and all kinds of things happen, and people start to lose the motor functions of their body. You can't sue them. It was declared pandemic by the government. They're immune from being sued for their immunizations. And they're the only ones who are really immune from anything, meaning lawsuits. It's terrible. We see that going on. Now, here's another little thing. I give this woman a lot of credit. Representative Michelle Bachmann from Minnesota said, I will not fill out the census form. U.S. Representative, U.S. House of Representatives, she said, I will not do it. She said, Acorn is running it. They're collecting a database. They're going to use it against us. She admitted all this. Washington Times article. She said, I'm going to put down how many people live in my house, because the Constitution says that's all they need to know. She said, I'm not filling in the rest of it. They don't need to know anything else about me. It's none of their business. So now they're threatening her. They say, anybody, and she quoted the Constitution. And they said, no, you're misinterpreting the law. She said, remember, did you ever read Animal Farm by George Orwell? All of a sudden things started changing. And all these awful things started happening. Hey, Animal Farm is happening now. And you're the animals, as far as they're concerned. George Orwell saw it all coming. He just had the foresight to write about it. But this woman, they're threatening her with, and anybody else who doesn't fill it in completely, with a $5,000 fine. What I would like to see happen is about 50 or 100 million people refuse to do it. And then see them try to prosecute. You know, it's almost impossible to get ammunition anymore. The stores are bought out. Everybody's bought the guns and ammo. They see something coming. There will be a resistance. We are in for some severe trouble. This is not going to go away by itself. Well, you can breathe easier now because Sotomayor, Sonia Sotomayor, the woman who likes to sit around and watch Law and Order and munch on pig's ears, pig's feet, and pig's intestines, was nominated for the Supreme Court, decided to quit her membership in the Belizean Grove, which is the female counterpart for the Bohemian Grove, that secret society. There's 125 members. They call themselves a constellation of influential women. A constellation. They're witches, every one of them. This woman is a witch, which is why Obama picked her. A witch that sits around and chews on pig's ears watching television. And is a member of, yeah, no kidding, and is a member of La Raza, that Hispanic radical group. The word La Raza means the race. And she is a member of this thing and advocates absolutely no prosecution for any of the immigration laws. You can break them all. They're not going to prosecute them. That's what she believes. And that the southwestern part of the country should be given to the Hispanics and let them run it. the whole thing, to break them off from the United States. And a whole bunch of other things like giving free driver's licenses out to illegal immigrants, just handing them one. They don't even have to test. You give them a license. You think you got trouble now? Hey. And what are they doing with your driver's license? We got to know all about you. We got to have your SS number. Boy, they've got us numbered, don't they? You know, we've got 3 9-digit numbers that we live by. We've got our bank routing number, our Social Security number, and our 9-digit zip code. And the 3 9s inverted, and our machine readable also upside down is 3 6s. So they've really got this thing put together. But the Lord is showing us things. You know, these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people out in Alcagin, California, with their cameras and their video cameras and all these digital cameras, cell phones, taking a picture of what's up in the sky up there that appeared over Alcagin. 3 Arabic digits, Sita, the number 6. They look like a 7 with a little tail on the top, tilted left. And there's pictures of this, that it's a known fact. They saw it in blood red in the sky over Alcagin. 666. Does that mean anything to you? Did the Lord say there would be signs in the heavens, in the sun, in the moon, and the stars, and on the earth distress of nations, with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring? And I'm going to tell you what the problem is today. We've got churches everywhere that are destroying the people. And those ministers are going to get the lowest hell that there is. They're telling them nothing of anything of any value. They're in full cooperation, purveying baloney, government-inspected baloney, because they're 501c3. And people sit there in the congregations like a wart on a pickle and wait for the thing to be over so they can go out and tap their keg or whatever they do. You know that's true. We have way too many people walking around with one spirit, or as many other ones as they can collect, but not with 2. I want to talk to you this morning about the man with 2 spirits. For you see, you and I, everybody in here, we were born, our bodies were made by God as a container, as a house, for our real inner man, our soul, which is given life by the Spirit. The soul couldn't be alive without the Spirit any more than the body could be alive without the blood. So we have one spirit that we're born with. But long ago, God worked a miracle by creating. He does that, you know. There's only one creator. They talk about these artists. Oh, look at that creation. That beautiful. Hey, nobody ever created anything but God. Because to create means to make something from nothing. And God created a tiny, the smallest of all cells, a little sperm cell, and caused it to be placed miraculously within the womb of a virgin named Mary. And that little embryo had 2 spirits. Every man, and Jesus was true man as well as true God. You understand that? 2 spirits. The spirit of man, and we all have that, but also the Spirit of God, for he had no earthly father, but our heavenly Father. His Spirit, His presence, His power was in that embryo at the very start. And immediately after that miraculous conception, she went to visit her cousin Elizabeth, remember? The mother of John the Baptist? And she was 6 months with John in her womb. And when Mary walked in, the presence of God was so powerful in that embryo, that tiny little embryo,